Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Kodama 3D is a board game based on a card game called Kodama Tree Spirits. And when you first played Tree Spirits, which I did at the Dice Tower Con East, I was kind of like, well, why is this a card game? This would fit so much better in like a 3D atmosphere. And lo and behold, one day they gave it to us, the 3D version of this game. And I think it works, but I can understand why it was a card game. With the 3D, you kind of have to move it around a little bit, but I don't want to overcomplicate that or say it's a problem. It's really not, and it works brilliantly. I feel like the game works great, and it almost feels like it finally got the iteration that it deserves. And I think the 3D works really, really well. I think it's easy to see, but I must admit, if you have the card game, this is the exact same game. It's just in 3D. One of the main factors of a game like this that's going to work or not work is going to be based on the components. And the components do work. Everything fits in well, it comes up, and when you're done, you do have a tree that looks fairly neat. And I think that's a great aspect of this game. When somebody walks by, if you're playing the card game or this version, people are going to stop and say, what is this? What are you doing here? This looks interesting. And it's a light enough game to bring in non-gamers. I think that's a plus for the game. The problem I'm going to have, and let me be frank with you, I have not had this problem yet, but I am worried about the components wearing down over time. I think it's okay because this game is a rather cheap game, and I think you're going to get your money's worth. I think the 3D version of it is fantastic, and it works brilliantly for what's intended to. I'm assuming at some point the components are going to wear down. Maybe that won't be the case. Let me be clear, that has not happened to me yet, but I'm pretty certain that it will at some point. Either way, Kodama 3D is a really good game. It's a card drafting game. It's got end-of-game scoring, and it has that really cool 3D effect where you're done. You have a unique tree that your opponents will also have their own unique tree. I think it's a really neat factor. So for us, this is a game that maybe you didn't check out the card game version for whatever reason. I would tell you to stop. Check out Kodama 3D. This is a definite upgrade for this game, and one you should check out. Keeper for us. Here is Kodama 3D. You can see a very striking box here. One thing they don't tell you on the box cover is that this is a re-implementation of Kodama Tree Spirits. I feel like they should let you know that. You do have some stickers that you have to sticker on here. You got a rule book, which take a look at in a few minutes, and then you're going to have the majority of your components. So these are the cards. You can see the icons are clearly listed. You got the victory points, and the words at the bottom will kind of explain. Not the greatest of quality, but for the most part, they just kind of sit in your hand or on the table, so they're not shuffled all that much. Everybody's going to get these little different Kodamas, which are stickered, and they're fairly cute, and they have different shapes, etc., with the different colors. Mind you, you're going to get 4 different colors on that. These will be the trees that you have. Now, here's kind of the problem. They don't fit in the box put together, so you're going to have to take these apart every time you play and slide them. They are very good quality. Do not get me wrong, but I wonder after 100 plays how they will fit. You're going to get any number of these branches. Now, the branches are going to have different icons on them and Kodamas that will be on there. And you just kind of stick them through here any way that you want. They can be a little bit of a tight fit. Once again, I worry about the long term of this. But as you're building this up, you can see that you have to kind of force them in there a little bit. The tree will have a 3D look to it, which is really, really cool. So those are the components that will come to the game. Very, very good quality. Here's the rulebook for Kodama 3D. You can see the object of the game, a nice little picture of a tree that is finished. You're going to get set up with a full picture of that and how to play through it. And they have a breakdown of component anatomy. Then when you flip it over, you're going to have the gameplay over here with a nice picture of how to move people and different ways you can move them. I think it works very, very well. And then you grow your tree and to draw a goal card. Now, this is the one problem that we had with the game. It says the Kodama on the branch tile you just added to your tree doesn't match the Kodama on the part of your tree you connected to. I wasn't really sure what a part was. I think it's a different branch or a trunk. That's how we played it. That could have been a little more clear because they do have a clear terminology here. They didn't say branch or trunk or stem. They kind of defined everything and then used a new definition over here. And then the end of the game, how to score, a little tip, and a solo variant on the back here if you want. Probably need about 5-10 minutes to read through this and you'll be up and playing. If you play the Tree Spirits, you won't need this. It's just the same game, 100%. So the game starts on a 2-player game at least. You have a 3x3 grid, and based on number of players, there may be more, but the game concepts work the same. So on your turn, you can be able to move one of your guys in a straight line. It can be diagonal or orthogonal, and you can just move him as far as you can. You can't go over anybody or bump anybody. So if this guy was here,
I could not go this way. So let's say I went here. I could pick up this, and now this branch, you grab the branch from the tile that you left on. So that's how that's going to work. A little bit of rules, there's nowhere to stop, move because you're boxed in. That's fine. If something is empty, then you just move over it. That's fine too. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this, the one that you move away from. So I moved away from this one. I will grab this one into my hand. Everyone's going to start the game off with a 3D tree. And I'm going to try to play it this way so you can kind of see what's going on here. You're going to have a little Kodama that will start there and possibly in your player color. And you're going to take the branch that you just chose and you can put it in anywhere that you want. So if I want to put it here, I may do so in any direction that I want. And I can do it on any side. So there's going to be 3 little branches that are going to be coming out of your trunk. And I will have this here. Now this will normally have an icon on it and then a different colored Kodama. And so I can add that to that, so that'll be the second step. Now the third step is you're going to have these gold cards that will be face up. And if I'm allowed to choose a gold card, I can always choose one of the face up ones or one from the top of the deck. So what you're going to look at is you're going to look on your tree and see if the icons on it matches what came before it. In this case, no. The Kodamas match, no. So if the color of the Kodamas don't match and the icons don't match, then I can choose a card. And I'd put this into my hand. Now these will give you a visual representation of what it is, and then 7 victory points and tell you have 4 branches with orange Kodamas on them in a row. This one says have 2 branch tiles with caterpillars on a row. And then there are some that will give you victory points for, like this one, for each caterpillar at the end of a branch. So those are going to be the different things that you're having. So for example, to reiterate the point, if I were to get another branch and put this here, I would not be able to get a card because it has a caterpillar on this one and a caterpillar on that one. So maybe if I put it over here, if I wanted to, then I'd be able, because there's no caterpillar here and it's blue and orange, I'd be able to take a gold card. So your choice is like, am I trying to score 2 caterpillars in a row, or do I want to get another gold card? So that's what's going to happen. Once you get 13 branches on a tree, everybody has 13 branches, the game will end, and you'll score your objective cards here. Whoever has the most points is the winner of the game.
Who should buy this game? I think it's for anybody looking for a light card game that you'll be drafting pieces and adding it to your tree. You can play this with gamers and non-gamers and slide enough that could top off an end of a night, or just something if like you and your spouse want to sit around, maybe not play a big, large game. You want something a little bit lighter to have some conversation over. This game will be appealing in that regard. This is a game that maybe you have slept on in the past. I would tell you, check this one out. The price point is very, very good. The components are great and has a unique look to it. So this is one I'm going to tell you that you may have slept on before, but you definitely want to check out Kodama 3D.